Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, November the 6th. Taking a look at the charts, we've got the SP 500. You can see here, we were talking about this cycle topping out this week, and the cycle topped out 2 days ago. And overall, we're letting the market work itself out, just like we saw over here, where the market put a top in. It took another week for it to roll over. Over here, the top got put in. It took about a week to roll over as well. So here we are, halfway through it. 2 or 3 more days, we could start to see the equities market roll over. It may still push and pop to a new high, but overall, we're going to have a downward bias in the market. And as the stocks pull back, we should see a flood into safe havens, and we should start to see metals and bonds and utilities potentially move higher going forward. Overall, everyone is continuing to pile into equities. The put call ratio is down at 0.65. It keeps opening way down at these low levels, meaning no one is fearful of the market. Let's just take a look at the put call ratio. It actually doesn't show very well on this chart. Green bars, it opens down at these lows and works itself back up, but overall, it is way down here. And each time we get on average down at these levels here, this is when we start to see the market put in a top. And looking at the VIX again trading down at this 13-12 level. Overall, again, it's a matter of time here before we potentially start to see the VIX start to pop and really take off to the upside. If we look over at utilities, safe havens, money flowing out pretty big out of safe havens yesterday. Obviously, everyone's just moving out of those safe havens and into equities. And hopefully, we talked about this in yesterday's video, that when everyone is dumping positions, that's usually when we want to be in there scooping up and getting positioned in those, because everyone is usually getting out at the wrong time. Now, if we take a look over at gold, big down day yesterday. Overall, though, we are still looking for it to find support in this area. It did get oversold. We'll see if we can get some traction. Our stop is set just below this pivot low over here on a closing basis. We need the market to close below it at the end of the day, then we'd be stopped out of it. But overall, it is oversold at support. Hopefully, we'll find some traction and start to break out of this big bull flag formation. Again, it's been a big rally here. Huge move up, and the price has been flagging out here, and more or less it's in this basing formation right across here. Hopefully it can stay in here and start to break above this base and start to move higher as fearful money starts to creep back into these safe haven plays. Looking over at gold miners, same type of thing. Gold miners did push to new highs, breaking an internal and an external high, these two previous pivot highs. This is a good sign. Overall cycle is showing that we could still see some potential weakness, some sideways trading or downward trading, but overall the momentum has shifted more or less to the upside on gold miners temporarily, and hopefully we'll see a buying step back in. Looking over at natural gas trading up 0.25% today. Overall, it's had this series of long cycles. We played this cycle over here, and now we're playing this one. Overall, you can see the cycle's falling out of favor into a topping phase. It doesn't mean price is going to roll over exactly, but it means we're probably going to have a little bit of headwinds. We do need to see natural gas break. Let's just zoom out a bit here. Break this high over here. If we can break this high, we could see a very explosive move going forward. This is the high that it's struggling with right now. If it can break this, then we could see a very strong expansion to the upside for a very big, powerful breakout that could bring us back up to these previous highs in the chart, which is somewhere over into this area. And this would be more or less a halfway move. This distance here from here to this resistance, you take that same distance on the breakout, and that'll give you your next target, which again brings us into these previous highs. So there is potential for an explosive move. The odds aren't huge that that will happen, but there is a slight chance that if it can break out and this cold front keeps moving across North America, we could see a big pop and a continued move, and that's what we're in position for, with a small piece of the position remaining. Looking over at crude oil. Crude oil is relatively flat on the session, still holding at this resistance level. It's tagged at 1, 2. It's the third day at this resistance level, and overall it's still holding its ground, but again it's flagging in an upward position. We've got this kind of upward channel here in price. It could continue to kind of chop around it and work its way higher. Overall cycle still continues to go higher. We had a big move down, so this is a counter trend move, and if it does start to break below this lower trend line, then we're probably going to see it come back down, test this 51. If 51 breaks, we've talked about this many times, then it's probably going down to 45 or 44, which would be a big move to the downside. So we're keeping our eye on crude. Overall, it is at resistance, but again, it's still trending up with cycles and trending up within this trend channel. It's stuck under short-term resistance. Crude has got a pretty messy chart overall. When you zoom out and you look at all this price action through here, there is no real clear lines in the sand to really trade by. So we're just going to leave it be for now. Anyways, that's it for this morning. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.